Danny, tell us.
Dan, the big signing of the day was Calais Campbell, the 6-time Pro Bowl defensive end, returning to Baltimore, where he played from 2020 to 2022 on a 1-year deal. Played last year in Arizona, now will go back to Baltimore, the team that tried to trade for him at the trade deadline a couple of years ago. This will be his 19th NFL season. He turns 40 on September 1st. There are not many players who make it to 40. There are not many players who put their hand in the dirt, line up at the line of scrimmage, and make it to age 40. And he's been around and performing at an awful high level for an awful long time, which we'll get into here shortly.
Yeah, Adam, you hit it. He still plays at such a high level. ESPN has their pass rush win metric, which is the defensive player winning in 2.5 seconds or less. He was third amongst defensive tackles last year. He consistently finishes in the top 5 in that regard. And now you're looking at a Baltimore defensive line that signed Trey Henderson, drafted Zion Young, who's a very tough, great against the run edge from Missouri. If Nnamdi Madubuike is able to come back from his injury, and you compare him with Travis Jones and Calais Campbell, this could be the best defensive line that Baltimore has fielded in years. But that Madubuike injury is something to keep your eye on, because I do think it is one of the more pivotal stories of the entire offseason.
And my understanding is he's making good progress, and his doctors right now expect that he'll be back this season. We'll see if there are any setbacks to that neck injury that kept him out of action last year. But he right now, Nnamdi Madubuike is in a good spot moving forward. And as for Calais Campbell, if we go back to when he entered the league in 2008, take a look at some of the players who were in his draft class back in the day. They include, amongst others, the Falcons' president, Matt Ryan, Darren McFadden. You see some of the players that come. Gerard Mayo, Kevin O'Connell, the head coach of the Minnesota Vikings, Jamal Charles, Deshaun Jackson. And you know who else came out of that class? Andrew Hawkins was an undrafted free agent back in 2008. He's now in studio. Yep.
Hey, look at that.
Unbelievable.
I've been out of the league for 10 years, and he just signed a free agent deal with the Baltimore Ravens.
And he can still play. It's an absolutely incredible career with no end in sight.
Come on.
Very, very cool to see Calais Campbell still doing it as he's about to turn 40. Coming up on NFL from the NFL Draft, we know all the big names, but what about the hidden gems from last week? Our resident wide receiver, Andrew Hawkins, has his eye on a few receivers from this draft class that might have gone unnoticed by a lot of people, but could turn into household names. Hawk, take it away.
Yeah, we're going to start in the 3rd round with Zachariah Branch from Georgia. Listen, he's a diminutive slot. In college, they used him on a lot of gadget plays, screens, reverses, passes behind the line of scrimmage. But his speed and quickness, I think, translates to the ability to beat man-to-man. And when you get down to the Falcons, whether they have whatever quarterback they go with, the ability to get instant offense is going to be paramount for them. And I think Zachariah Branch is a guy who's going to pop on the radar very early and often, and particularly end up being a household name in Atlanta. Next up, we're going Chris Brazzell Jr., speed guy, big playability. The question was in college, did they give him enough route selection? Next up, we got Skylar Bell. This one I'm super excited about. He goes in the 4th round. Now, he comes from UConn, so he's used to the weather that you'll see in Buffalo. But when you watch his tape, he's a guy that screams a number 1 receiver. Now, it's going to take him a little while to get there, but he is reminiscent of Stephon Diggs at times, the way he wins off the line of scrimmage. Contested catches, he has 10-inch hands, which are huge, and plays his ability to win 50-50 balls, can run every route out of the slot on the outside, was a volume guy, and will be a big threat for Josh Allen. Lastly, we come to Cyrus Allen. Now, for the Chiefs, I was hoping they went and got a receiver earlier in the draft, but they waited to the 5th round. But the one they got, I think they're going to get a ton of value out of. Cyrus Allen popped on the scene at the American Bowl, did incredible at the Senior Bowl. I think he was a rare miss by not getting invited to the Combine. Had he gone to the Combine, I wouldn't be surprised if he would have came up the board in the 2nd round. He's a 5th round pick, but if you remember, Tyreek Hill was also a 5th round pick for Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. I'm not saying he's going to be that, but he is definitely going to be a productive wideout and an early contributor to this offense for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Certainly landed in a great spot if you want to be a productive wide receiver in the NFL with that coaching staff and that quarterback. Late round value at wide receiver is cool, but the Titans said, nah, we're not interested in that. We're going to take Carnell Tate with the 4th overall pick. Big move to boost their offense. Titans assistant GM Dave Ziegler spoke earlier this week on the team's thinking behind that pick.
At the end of the day with Carnell, we just had a very good, I think there was a consensus vision on what he's going to do, where he's going to play, how he's going to fit in, and what he's going to bring to this team. Carnell checked a lot of those boxes in that way where we're feeling we're really getting a complete 3-down player that can contribute on these critical downs and these critical situations, 3rd down in the red zone. And so for us, having that vision, seeing that consensus, he was a clear guy for us to take, and we were excited about it.
3-down wide receiver sure sounds like what the Titans need. Cam Ward wasn't always on target in his rookie year, but even when he was, Titans wideouts struggled to catch the ball. It's on any down, but especially on 1st down, where they ranked 30th in the NFL. The Titans did in 1st down reception. So, Mina, what do you think of the fit here with Carnell Tate in this Titans offense?
I really like that they went this direction because while I think some folks think that's a premium or is maybe a little bit early for Carnell Tate, I would argue the importance of setting up Cam Ward, the young quarterback, for success in year 2 makes it worth paying that premium. And I've also heard people say Carnell Tate, he's good, he's solid, does he have any special traits? He does. He catches literally everything downfield. On throws over 10 yards, he had a 71% catch rate, which was the most of any receiver in college football with 20 or more targets. It shows up in his contested catch ability. He catches great balls away from his body as well. He's phenomenal at tracking the ball downfield. And I just feel like that ability gives him a floor that's been missing in this Titans receiver group. I also like how it sets up the rest of the receiver group. They signed Wan'Dale Robinson from New York. I really like Wan'Dale Robinson. I don't like Wan'Dale Robinson as your number 1 wide receiver, right? So now he gets to play in the slot. He gets to work underneath. And suddenly, Andrew, him, Robinson, Tate, Robinson, Ridley, it all starts to make a lot more sense and fit together for me.
I completely agree, Minnie. You're hitting it on the head. They have every archetype in that receiver room, and that's what you need for a young quarterback like Cam Ward. Carnell Tate was the most pro-ready wide receiver in this draft for me, and I don't care what his 40 times said at the Combine. When you watch the tape, to your point, he does everything great. He does everything you can ask for, and he already plays like an NFL wide receiver. So he will slot in as the number 1. And Calvin Ridley and Wan'Dale Robinson, now you have a core that Cam Ward won't have to bear the brunt of the pressure for production in the pass game, because now you have true weapons on all 3 wide receiver positions that can get open for you, catch the ball, and turn small plays into big plays.
Yeah, arrow up potentially for Cam Ward, who did, by the way, finish strong last season. 12 touchdowns and only 1 interception over the final 8 games of 2025. When we come back on NFL Live, we've got